Hi friends, this is Kristen from the Pros and Cons team, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about the pros and cons of dried beans versus canned beans. So to start off, growing up, I mainly did canned beans. I maybe remember one time that my mom used dried beans, but I never really did anything with dried beans. And then when I was a little older, I was at a store with a person from Brazil, and she was shocked when she saw canned beans and was like, "Are you kidding? Like, people pay for canned beans?" And I was like, that's interesting. And so I learned how to use dried beans. And from that experience, I compiled my list of pros and cons. So, to start off, the pros with canned beans is it's really quick and easy. You can make some very easy meals very fast. Like, you can get chili con carne and eat that, like in a tortilla with some cheese. Or you could like make a quick soup. Like I remember one of my favorite soups growing up was called three bean soup, and it was a can of chili con carne, a can of bean with bacon, and a can of tomato soup, and you just stir it together, and there was the soup. And so that is something really nice with canned beans. Another thing is if it's like a chili or refried, it is seasoned how you want it before you like even begin cooking. You don't even need to worry about seasoning it. Yes, you may add a couple spices, but most of the time people won't do that. Like it's how it's supposed to be. Or if you do like pork and beans, which is so nice because you don't have to worry about finding a good recipe for it. Some of the cons of canned beans is I feel like it's a lot of waste. There's a tiny little can, and you throw away the can, and there's just another thing in the landfill. Another thing with canned beans is they are significantly more expensive than dried beans. It's insane how much they charge for canned beans. And I actually did a chart, and it's linked in the description below, of kind of what the ratio is. Yes, the prices may vary from area to area, but the ratio will be very similar of like dried beans versus canned beans. So that is like something that is a huge con that has actually swayed me to mainly do dried beans. I don't keep any canned beans on hand. That just doesn't happen now because I'm like, well, it's so much easier just to do the dried beans, or cheaper, not necessarily easier. So moving on to the pros of dried beans is it's an accomplishment, significantly cheaper, and it's just you can season it, you can make a ton more beans. Like beans have become one of my go-tos when I'm trying to save money. Oh my gosh, dried beans. Like you can get them to go so far. Some of the cons. Well, today I was packaging some refrieds for the freezer, and I actually found a rock in the refrieds because it had been in the beans. I was like, oh my gosh, but I guess you could find that in a can too. But that's like something that was a definite con. Another thing that is a con is it takes a lot of time. I actually have started using the Instapot, which cuts down time significantly, but depending on how you prepare your beans, you are taking a lot of time. Not time that you have to take, but time for it to cook. It doesn't take that long to throw it together, but it is a lot of time to cook. So if you're going to do a certain meal, you kind of have to prepare in advance to cook it. So that is something that is really hard with dried beans. Another thing is that it isn't seasoned, and I have had like times where I'm like, oh, that's gross. Like I put too much of that seasoning, and then it's like, well, you either need to cook some more beans, and it's gonna take several hours, or you don't. Like you just kind of put some more sour cream or something with your beans so that you can deaden the seasoning. However, I have found that the Instapot works fantastic with beans. So if you want to save yourself a lot of time, I can actually throw it together within the afternoon of being like, okay, I want refrieds with our tacos tonight. I can put it, like, I can start it in the afternoon and have it done which is super nice. Which that is a definite pro of the Instapot if you ever are considering the pros and cons of an Instapot. And you can also check that out on our blog. But these are some of the pros and cons I've thought of dried beans versus canned beans. If there are additional pros and cons that you would like to add, please leave it in the comments below. Also, you can check out more pros and cons linked in the description below. I hope you have a great day. Bye.